It is raining. The wind blows the curtain, knocking the philodendron off the window ledge. You stop writing to clean it up. When you go back to your computer, the words on the screen no longer make any sense.
She looks so lovely, eh? So you're a married man now, eh? Hi.
Congratulations.
How are you?
I'm really good.
Congratulations. When are you going to jump next time?
You are at the wedding of two straight friends. To your surprise, you realize that you are jealous. They are getting married so that he can be on her health plan. But they have also been together for a long time, and everyone is happy to help them celebrate their relationship and their love. You and your lover have been together for 9 years. You watch her photographing the accordion player. Later, you ask her if she wants to get married. "Only if you're the wife," she says. "I hated being the wife." You realize that it will never work out. And yet you can't help but wonder if your Aunt Pearl would have sent a toaster.
Anne is in trouble with her kindergarten teacher and has to take her nap in the bathroom. She has done the wrong art project. She uses her father's hammers at home, but only boys can use the hammers at school. She sings to herself because no one can hear her, and wonders if her friend Wendy is pretending to sleep. After school, she and Wendy play Peter Pan. Anne plays Peter. Wendy plays different parts every day, but always plays someone who has to be saved. Anne imagines that someday she will save Wendy in real life.
Anne wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to the kitchen for a drink of water. On the way back to bed, she stops and looks out the window. It is snowing and the lawn is already covered with a thick white carpet. She has never been the first person to put a footprint in new snow. She dresses quickly, putting on her flannel-lined pants and matching flannel shirt. Her cowgirl boots won't fit over the thick wool socks, so she crawls under the bed to find her other shoes. The lace on one of the shoes is tied in a knot. She tries for a long time to untie it. She worries that someone is outside walking in her snow. The light is on in her grandmother's room. She goes in and asks her grandmother to please untie the knot so that she can go out. "It is too late for little girls to go outside alone," says her grandmother. She takes Anne back to bed and tucks her in. Anne wakes up in the morning and looks out the window. Her brother is building a snowman in the front yard.
You are driving the Carmen Ghia you bought for $300 when you were in graduate school. The front end is smashed in, and the right headlight is held on with gaffer's tape. The bolt that holds the battery in place has broken off, so when you stop suddenly, the battery slides. The wires connected to it come unplugged, and the car stalls. This happens one night when you are driving through the Tenderloin. Knowing what to do, you jump out of the car and open up the hood. A man on the corner watches as you get out of your car. When you open the hood, he walks over and says, "I know how to fix those things. Used to work on them. Need some help?" You smile politely and say, "No thanks, this happens all the time. I know what to do. Thanks anyway." You fix the battery, get back in your car, and start to drive away. The man runs up to the side of the car and starts pounding on the window with his fists. "Fucking lesbian," he says. "Goddamn fucking dyke. Get the hell out of here, bitch. Fucking lesbian."
Two men live in a house on the next block. Her parents and their friends call them the Bachelors. Anne rides her bike past their house on weekends and sees them working in their yard. They have a modern sculpture in the corner and the only rock garden in the neighborhood. Her mother says that one of the Bachelors is an interior decorator.
Your aunt says that she has just had new carpeting put in. She says that she had to call her bachelor friend to help her move all the furniture. You wonder if anyone ever calls you their old maid friend or spinster friend. You remember your mother talking about a maiden aunt and wonder how old you need to be before you will be the maiden aunt to your nieces and nephew.
You moved to Northern California to teach at a small university. It is your first full-time teaching job, and you want to do well and be accepted in the academic community. You notice that no one else on the faculty wears a black leather jacket. Later, you sell yours at the flea market. Later still, you stop putting blue streaks in your hair. Friends who still work in art schools accuse you of becoming conservative. Someone sends you a key-ring with a tiny leather jacket hanging from a tiny chain. You put your office key on it. At department meetings, you put your keyring on the table in front of you next to your coffee cup.
By the time the doctor gets to the hospital, you are already in the operating room. When they transfer you from the gurney to the operating table, he winks at the nurse and says, "She's a big mama, isn't she?" Later, when he is taking out the stitches in your knee, he tries to slide his hand past your knee and the recently healed wound. He knows you are a lesbian. Your lover is waiting for you in the other room. "You're not like the others," he says. "They just can't get a man." At the time of the motorcycle accident, there are only 6 practicing women orthopedic surgeons in this country. They said it is because you have to be really strong to push bones around. You're talking with a colleague from another department. She tells you that she has been advised not to propose a feminist theory class until she has tenure. You feel very tired and sit down on a bench in the hall. You look at your hands and notice that they are starting to disappear. You sit for a long time. You realize that if you stay on the bench long enough, you will eventually disappear into the industrial beige wall behind you. You pick up your books and walk back to your office.
When her mother goes back to work, Anne stands at the end of the driveway and cries. Her grandmother finally gets tired of the noise and tells her that she can have some pudding if she stops crying and comes into the house. She cries for another 5 minutes and then goes in and eats her pudding. Later, her mother comes home and gives her a syringe to use as a squirt gun and tells her about the babies that were born that day. Her Uncle George asks her if she is going to be a nurse like her mother. She tells him that she is going to be a doctor, though she isn't sure she can really do that. She has never actually seen a girl doctor. She does a book report on Marie Curie and decides to be a scientist. That year, for her 8th birthday, she gets a microscope and a new pair of cowgirl boots.
You are writing a mystery. Anne is a filmmaker. Her lover, Wendy, is suffering from temporary amnesia. Wendy was working on her dissertation in the library when the history of sexuality mysteriously fell from a top shelf and hit her on the head. Anne and Wendy are spending the weekend getting reacquainted. I am having trouble writing the love scene. My attempts to position it in the present only emphasize its attachment to the past. I turn off the computer and go to bed. I'll rewrite the love story tomorrow.
Could you get that? I'm getting the laundry.